The final round of the Manufacturers' Cup exhibition series took place at Nürburgring Nordschleife, and wow, yes, it has been quite an experience. Across all of the races I entered, the conditions were constantly changing. The weather was fully dynamic, and no one really knew what to expect, not in the qualifying and certainly not in the race itself. My first slot, it was a dry race. Nothing major happened, but unfortunately, I just didn't perform at my best. In my second slot, things were looking up. I managed to break into the top 10, even got pretty close to the top 5, but then unfortunately, I lost the car. It was incredibly slippery, and I was pushing right to the limit, and unfortunately, a little bit over it. But then, the third slot. That's where the things really got interesting. In the qualifying, I ended up caught in the middle of the rain shower on racing slick tires. I mean, there was no real strategy to avoid this either. Intermediates would have worn out by the end of the lap, and slicks, well, I had to just survive. I did survive, but my lap time, unfortunately, 9 minutes, easily my slowest qualifying lap on this track ever. With no clear strategy, I decided to gamble. Well, I just wanted to try something different, and honestly, it almost worked. So this is exactly how this race started. Alright, let's go. Radar on, nice livery behind me. Lewis. No. It won't matter in the end. Let's go. But what really mattered were the track conditions. They were constantly changing and I wasn't exactly sure what to do. All I could focus on during the first lap was following the guys in front of me and most importantly, not making any mistakes. I pushed to get most out of that lap, knowing that in the second one, as you'll see, rain was coming. I didn't know what the strategy would be at that point, so like I said, I decided to gamble. I stayed out just to see what the risk might bring. I should have stayed behind him. That Supra is OP. That Supra is OP on the straights. No way. No, they are going in. Oof. They are going in. Let's survive now. What can I even say? Let's survive. I'm on my own. They will destroy their intermediates. Oh well, now the real challenge began. As you can see, the rain started coming down and I wasn't even sure if I'd make it to the end of the lap to pit. I knew the guys behind me were probably on really worn intermediates. Intermediates don't usually last long in dry conditions, so all I could hope for was that their intermediates were almost destroyed and they'd have to pit again. So now it's all down to the gamble, so let's see if it actually paid off. We are much slower, but never mind. Still. Yellows. I think we'll make it. Whew. Few more corners. This might actually work. I made it. Intermediate. I made it. And just like that, I managed to grab a couple of positions. It wasn't game over. In fact, the race has just begun. Jumping up to P8 definitely wasn't bad. But now, the real chase is on. I knew that the Porsche behind me was very strong. Better driver, better car. Honestly, just a bit quicker overall than the BMW. So instead of forcing a battle, I accidentally went wide, giving him the line and letting him pass through. Why? Because this was custom slipstream. This meant that I could get a solid toe and maybe even get some places by staying behind him. I just wanted to test it out, see if it would actually pay off. And, well, let's just see if it actually did. It's a much better car in the rain. Plus, he's faster than me in the rain, so it's better to use his slipstream and save a bit of fuel than push and make a mistake. Oh. But I cannot believe that worked. That actually worked. I think they are unused intermediates. And look at their pace now. I think P5 and P6 are unused intermediates. Oh. Yep. What about fuel? Yeah, more than enough fuel. More than enough fuel. Let's check the weather. It will stay like this. It should get a bit better, but it's going to mostly stay like this till the end of the race. Just keep it up. Just keep it up, just keep it up, okay. At this point, the weather was looking pretty stable. It probably wasn't going to get much worse or much better before the end of the race. There were still some dry lines forming and I was closing in on P6 and I knew that the GR Supra ahead wasn't the strongest car in the rain. The tricky part, in these conditions, only one or two lines actually work. Sure, you can try different approaches, but once the dry line forms, that's usually where the grip is, and it's way faster. That makes overtaking really tough, especially on the outside. Still, I wanted to see what I could do. Maybe, just maybe, there was a chance to take a position. With 2 laps to go. I'm not going to lose you now. Unfortunately, the move didn't pay off, and now Lewis was closing in on me. but I didn't have to wait for too long because someone in front of me made a little mistake that I always wanted to avoid. Oh, he's off the track. Once again, I was doing everything I could to defend against Lewis. He was closing in fast, and at this point, he was seriously quick. But in these tricky conditions, it happened again. Another mistake, another chance to get a place. Couldn't make it. At this point, he started pulling away, and I was suddenly in a really tough spot. Two cars were right behind me, heading onto the final straight. Definitely not ideal. They had the tow, and realistically, they were probably going to get past. So instead of holding my position, or maybe even gaining one, I was, well, about to lose two. Let's see. 8.9 seconds to the leader. The track will slowly start to dry out. That's what I think. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Whoa. Ah. Again. Realistically, this one was on me. I should have tucked in behind Lewis, taken the tow, and only lose one position instead of two. So now, instead of sitting in P7, I was down to P8. Unfortunately, I made another mistake right there, and that's where I lost two more places. Indefinitely wasn't intentional, but in these conditions, judging your next reference point is incredibly tough. I messed it up there. Oh. No. I'm going to take that one. Let's go again. Just a half of a lap later, we managed to catch the group ahead, and suddenly things were looking promising again. Of course, in these conditions, you never really know what's going to happen. You're just trying to squeeze every bit of performance out of the car every single lap. Like I said earlier, I started making some moves just to see what might stick. And honestly, at this point, I really had nothing to lose. Oh, Lewis. I don't know what happened to Lewis. At this point, I was pushing the car to its absolute limits, trying to get every last bit out of it. I was on full defense mode, but at the same time, still looking ahead, trying to catch the cars in the front before the end of the straight. Maybe there was a chance to gain one or two more positions, or maybe lose them. Either way, it was all down to the line. Both off the track. Let's see now. Ooh. Which way to go? Which way to go? Oh, no. And a sandwich. Wonderful. I have nowhere to go. On neither side. WPA. What a race. What a race. At least I survived. And yes, at least I survived. Nordschleife is always a roller coaster. You never really know how it's going to end. One way or another, it's always an interesting race. One position up, one position down. Constantly changing conditions, and in the end you get a finish like this one. So really, what more could we wish for? Guys, let me know what you think about this race, and please let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed it. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.